Okay, so let's think about your brain for a second. It's not just a lump of gray matter, right? It's like the most complex, high-tech control center you could ever imagine. It's running everything, from who you are as a person to the rhythm of your own heartbeat. But, and this is a big but, this whole command post runs on a power grid, and that power comes from your blood vessels.
So you gotta ask, what happens when that power supply gets shaky, when the pressure starts building up in the system and the lights begin to flicker? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore. We're going to take a journey right inside that control center to see what happens minute by minute when the power goes out. Let's dive in.
You know, it really all kicks off with pressure. We're talking about high blood pressure, hypertension. The best way to picture it is like a pressure cooker that's just building up more and more steam inside the incredibly delicate plumbing of your brain. And if that pressure gets too high, the whole system is pushed to its breaking point.
Now, you might hear doctors talk about a hypertensive urgency versus a hypertensive emergency. And look, in both cases, the numbers on the screen are scary high. We're talking above 180 over 120. But here's the critical difference, the thing that flips the switch from urgent to full-blown emergency. It's all about target organ damage. See, an emergency isn't just about a number anymore. It's when we have hard evidence that all that pressure is actively wrecking vital organs, like the brain.
So when that damage happens, when a part of the brain's power grid gets cut off, what happens next? Well, this is where it gets fascinating. The specific symptoms that show up, they're not random. They actually create a map that points directly to the part of the control center that just lost power. So come on, let's take a tour and see exactly how this map works.
Our first stop is the executive suite, the corner office of the brain, the frontal lobe. This is your CEO. It's handling all the top-level stuff, your personality, your ability to reason, planning for the future, and even the mechanics of how you speak.
And if the CEO's office suddenly loses power, the results are huge. A power outage here can lead to cognitive disorders, or something called abulia, which is this really profound lack of motivation, where making even the simplest choice feels impossible. It can even cause expressive dysphagia, where you know exactly what you want to say, the words are right there in your head, but you just can't get them out. The leader of the whole operation is suddenly cut off.
Okay, our next stop brings us to the temporal lobe. Think of this part as the brain's head archivist. This is where all your memories get filed away and where your emotions are processed. It's basically the living library of your entire life story.
So when a power failure hits the archives, memory loss is, you guessed it, a major problem. And if the damage happens in the dominant hemisphere of the brain, it can also lead to aphasia, which messes with your ability to understand language. All of a sudden, the very stories that make you become impossible to access.
All right, let's head over to the brain's navigator, the parietal lobe. This section is all about processing sensation, things like touch, temperature, and pain. It lets you interact with the world around you. It's how you know where your arm is without looking, and how you can do learned tasks, like tying your shoes without even thinking about it. A power failure here creates this really deep, profound sense of disconnection. You might get what's called hemisensory deficits, where you lose all feeling on one entire side of your body. Or you could develop apraxia, where your brain just can't send the right signals to do a task you've done 1,000 times before. You know what you want to do, but the navigator, it just can't plot the course. Now we're moving to the very back of the control center, to the occipital lobe. This area has one job, but it is an incredibly important one. It's your visual processor. Literally everything you see with your eyes gets sent back here to be interpreted. And this is a perfect example of just how direct that link is between the location of the damage and the function you lose. When the occipital lobe gets hit, the result is purely visual. It can cause something called homonymous hemianopia, which is blindness in one half of your vision.